What's up, guys? This is Alex here with another couple of games from that are extremely high rated, most highly rated games that you can find publicly from the Smogon Replay search. Uh, this is another Vapakuno game. Of course, well known. I've covered him before. Known as a team builder. And Msoft, I feel like I recognize the name, but I'm not sure where. I'm sure you don't see him in tournaments. Um, so let's jump right in. Dog Trio lead, we've seen this one in previous videos. But of course, giving advantage to Msoft on the bottom, considering that it hasn't caught anything. So Titar gets a free crunch on the Suicune. Raylum is going to get Suicune out, so it doesn't get spored, and Armaldo will be the sleep sack. Claydol takes the focus punch rather well, and it's Titar on Zap. Ice Beam not doing too much, but it's definitely better than the Thunderbolt, though Thunderbolt is going to kill before the Ice Beam, so possibly Msoft just trading down, seeing that there isn't a Gengar, so that's the Pursuit Tower isn't going to be that useful. Possibly a slower Zap having to move out. Zapdos throwing out a covering move. And here's the Hera and Blissey. Decently healthy. Claydol takes the Brick Break. Shouldn't have taken a Mega Horn, but it worked out. And agility meta makes it quicker than anything on the opposing team. But Suicune is going to be able to take 2 hits, especially from a Meteor Mash. But the crit gets it anyway. So Msoft has a real advantage now with a Metagross that's, without that miss, really would have maybe 1 hit Blissey, but definitely 2 hits. So that's why Fabukuno had to risk the para. But Dugtrio is going to end the Metagross now. So it's going to be 2 for 2. Salamence gets the Blissey. I'm not sure why. Let's take a look. So Dugtrio gets the Metagross. Salamence gets a free click, but it was Brick Break and not. I'm not sure what he was expecting there. There wasn't much revealed. But I suppose the Brick Break wouldn't have done anything on Claydol, so maybe Fabukuno was just expecting a covering move. Something that would be more fitting for Armaldo or Claydol. So it might have been a read. Let's go on to the next game. Here we've got another game between Kickwin and Bessie. We've seen him in previous videos on the highlighter. here's another Jask. We've seen this team before from Pessy. Is going to be able to get the Zapdos out. Not sure what they were afraid of. But with Breloom against Titar, that's a real advantage. Faster than Aerodactyl, I believe. No? But I suppose not, seeing it's going to go out. So it's, I suppose we're back in the neutral. I suppose there's no advantage at the moment. It's neutral. The Dugtrio is going to be able to get rid of this Regirock. Though I'm not sure how it came in, so I'm going to check that out. So Regirock comes in, resists, and straight to Dugtrio. Thunder Wave doesn't do anything, so the Dugtrio comes in safely. Risky, perhaps, but it definitely worked out. Gets to keep the Dugtrio, who of course doesn't need that much health to be useful. But the Ninjask is going to be able to get a free turn at least. So it looks like Hikwen is ahead, but Pessy has the momentum for the moment. Hidden Power Rock on Zapdos, presumably. Just losing the sub. But there's the HP power. There's the hidden power. Breloom gets one more click. Dugtrio is the Spore Sack, the Sleep Sack. Another Sword Stance, going to be able to get off a hit on Suicune. And the Brick Break does a decent amount, but nowhere near enough for a kill. Here's a Sceptile, of course very useful against Suicune. It's going to be able to get another sub off, but Kickwing calls it. I assume he's played this team before, so he knows what's coming, but he's not going to risk the Giga Drain. And Sceptile is basically back to full. Magneton comes in, but it might as well. It was a sack pretty much anyway, because it wasn't going to do anything against Arrow anyway, no matter what it clicked. Though I suppose it could have been a Rock Slide, and maybe it could have gotten a Thunderbolt off. But the Ninjask just got the Suicune. I'm not sure how that happened. Let's see. Suicune comes in, substitutes. And the Silver Wind and Sand. I suppose Kickwin is just trading down damage, trying to get Zapdos in without a substitute. Like, he can't really risk. Yeah, Kickwin even says smart, though I'm not sure what he's referring to. I suppose we'll have to see if there's. I mean, I don't think there's anything that can sweep Kickwin's team, seeing as it's so varied. But one more substitutes, and yeah, here's a Gengar with Explode. I don't know if he's gonna go for it right away, but maybe this turn. Heracross Sweeper and Explode, and that was the game. Kickwin says no roar, referring to having beats, I assume, referring to having beats a Ninja's team without a roar. But I would like to add, and also say that I've seen this before, that he did have a hidden power, and I assume that it's flying, and that's very strong into Pessy, seeing as he has Sceptile, Breloom, and Heracross. So that's 3 Pokemon that are weak to HP Flying. And HP Flying isn't seen that much. And I'd also like to note that almost all of the teams on the highest of the high ladder that I've seen have some I don't want to say insane, but very, very uncommon tech to it that appears to be working really, really well. At least for a moment, at least until people figure them out, I suppose. Because yeah, you don't see them in tournaments. Well, let's do one more game. Here's Blues Energy, well known as a tournament player. I don't know his opponents. I don't know too much more about Blues Energy, so I suppose we get into it. Standard lead, Zap on Salamence. Blissy's gonna get out the Zap, take a bit of damage on Heracross. Heracross isn't going to be able to do too much to Salamence, though that Rock Slide was a nice predict. I suppose having seen Salamence before, he predicted it, and Rock Slide isn't standard on Heracross, I believe, so that's pretty nice. He gets the Starmie. Let's watch that again. Yeah, it's the Salamence moves out. Dragon Claw and Starmie, yeah. Thunder Wave, and that's the end of Starmie. Because he has HP Bug, maybe, for T-Tar. Grass for Swampert, of course. Yes, it's HP Grass. Focus Punch into Skarmory. And a DT, but it won't be enough. No. But now it definitely has advantage. Wow, that must have been a miscalculation. And just predict trying to get something else coming in. But he gets the flinch, so he gets away with it for 30%. And with that, it seems somewhat even. The T-Tar is super low. Skarmory is a bit low, but doesn't matter as much. Salamence is paralyzed. And the others are reasonably healthy, so I'm going to say it's about even. And the momentum seems even now as well, now that the Starmie hasn't been able to paralyze anything. Curse Swampert, but it gets Toxic. Gets a nice chunk on Scarm, but with a Protect Scarm, Swampert does risk getting protected on and getting the Toxic chip. And the opponent tries to call him going, but he doesn't. So with that, it looks like Blues Energy is clearly in the lead. I expect this is just going to be a couple of chip turns, so I'm going to skip through. Yeah. There goes Swampert. And Hera gets a Rock Slide, but Starmie's just going to be able to recover that off. So Hera goes away. Thunder Wave on the Rachi is quite important, especially considering that it's a Wish Rachi. So it won't be able to stall a lot of the things that it could like Earthquake users with just a Wish Protect. Body's still trying to get the para, and on T-Tar that's quite important. Focus Punch. But Jirachi's going to be able to stall this as long as it doesn't get parried. But I suppose T-Tar can get parried as well. So, well, it's just a bit of a mind game of how long can you keep this focus punches out. But looks like the opponent doesn't want to play. Yeah, just a bit of maneuvering, but the Blissey comes in and reveals Calm Mind and doesn't want to play against Hira, which he doesn't have that good of something to bring in against it, so he just sacks off the Salamence to bring in the Starmie, which is going to try to T-Wave, or at least threaten it. Yeah. Very... not much happening. Hira gets a sub, T-Tar gets a para, so this looks, yeah, squarely in the favor of Blue's energy, so let's see how that game ended. It's 3-on-3. Blissey gets in on the Zapdos, but Hira gets in on the Blissey. Hira gets a sub expecting Blissey to move out. No, he gets a Mega Horn expecting Blissey to move out, which would have killed T-Tar or Starmie. Hira gets another sub against the T-Tar parrowing, and that was it. Yeah, it's hard to see conclusive moments. I feel like this was more of a slow and steady game. To see a conclusive moment that ended it. I'm not necessarily seeing what team is better here. So I'm going to go ahead and call this just like a game that could have tied if this was a game in which it could have in which that could have happened. Like if there was anything that's claimed the end game, it was getting Hira in on Blissey. But I suppose like if you could have gotten T-Tar in on Zapdos maybe, or Hira, I suppose Blue's energy did have more chances. Seeing as Hira was reasonable against T-Tar, but not against Starmie. So perhaps Blue's energy had a bit of an advantage, seeing as his Hira was going to do more than his opponent's T-Tar. Well, that was it for this game. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and thanks for watching.